Hey crochet fans, Tashia Butterfield here, alpaca rancher and crochet instructor with Forever Bliss Crochet. Today we are talking about how to keep consistent stitches. First, let's talk about the parts of the hook. There are two parts that I really want to point out today that's going to be of use to you. First of all, we have the throat. And depending on the style of hook you have, it might look a little different than mine. But this part is the throat that tapers up to the shaft. The shaft, in my opinion, is the most important part of your hook. This is the actual size of your hook. I'm using a size I9 5.5 millimeter hook, which means this shaft is the true diameter, 5.5 millimeter size of the hook. So every loop that I make needs to be brought up to this shaft. That is the number one tip I can give you about keeping your stitches consistent. I'll show you what I mean. Starting off first with the loop that begins every stitch, I'm going to make sure that it's the size of my shaft. I'm making single crochets in this swatch. As I bring up the new loop, I'm going to draw that loop up to the shaft and make sure that it's that size. It's nice in this sense that the head of my hook is already in place to yarn over and pull a new loop through. Again, that loop comes up to the shaft and is the size of my hook. All of the loops that I make are going to be the same size. That is the first step in having consistent stitches. The second tip to give you to keep consistent stitches is watch your starting loop. This loop that starts every crochet stitch needs to be the same size. Now we want to be careful of this because this loop specifically, as we make our stitches, becomes the V that forms the top of the new stitch. Regardless of what stitch you are making, this loop becomes that V. So it's important that it's always the same size and the same size as every other loop that you are making. So watch this loop as I form the stitch. And it always stays on the right side, and as I complete the stitch, it lays across the top. If that loop was a little bit bigger than the shaft of my hook, and I went ahead and I made my stitch, you'll notice there is a distinct size difference between this stitch and this stitch. If I were to continue to do it sloppily, and I'm going to use that word, it's sloppy, to have this loop be too big, I'll do a couple more stitches with them being a little too big and show you what that is going to look like. 3 stitches in which the loops are too big. Compare those to these stitches. There is a size difference in those stitches. Okay, so keep this in mind, and I'm going to redo those. And make sure that this loop that I start off with is the size of my hook. There are those stitches, and there are those stitches. Now they're very consistent. If you like this video and you found it helpful, please hit the like button below, share the video with your friends, and remember to subscribe to the channel. If you have suggestions for other crochet video topics, please leave a comment below and let me know, and I will see you in the next video.